What if the ETF you've been told is safe is actually the reason your portfolio is underperforming? I remember thinking I was doing everything right. I'd set up my brokerage account, automated my buys into VOO, and felt like I was finally building long-term wealth the smart way. Everyone said it was the gold standard, low fee, diversified, set it and forget it. But years later, when I ran the numbers and compared my results to a friend who used a slightly different mix of ETFs, the gap was embarrassing. Same discipline, same contributions, but his portfolio had grown tens of thousands more just by choosing a different set of tools. That moment hit hard, not because VOO failed me, but because I never stopped to ask if it was still the right fit for what I actually wanted.
Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
And when I finally did the research, I realized something. There are ETFs out there that aren't just matching VOO, they're quietly outperforming it in ways that could change your next 10 to 20 years of compounding. This video isn't about hype, it's about awareness, because if you've built your whole portfolio around VOO and never looked beyond it, you might be walking toward freedom with a weight vest on. Let's talk about the ETF that's quietly replacing VOO, and two more that might be missing from your strategy entirely. The VOO illusion: diversified or just comfortable? There's a reason VOO became the darling of long-term investors. It checks all the right boxes on paper: ultra-low fee, broad exposure to the U.S. stock market, and a 10-year track record that includes a 14.6% annualized return. It's the kind of ETF that makes you feel like you've made the grown-up choice. You're not gambling, you're diversified, and you're following the advice of just about every major financial voice online. But here's the reality no one tells you until you look under the hood. VOO's diversification is largely an illusion. Right now, the top 10 companies, names like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Amazon, make up nearly 40% of the entire S&P 500 index. That means when you buy VOO, you're not spreading your risk across 500 companies equally. You're basically doubling down on a handful of mega-cap tech stocks, whether you meant to or not. And when those few names surge, VOO looks like a winner. But when they stall or crash, you feel it deeply, because your so-called diversification is riding such shot with them. The emotional contrast is jarring. You feel safe, you feel diversified, but in reality, you're riding the same tech roller coaster as everyone else, without the benefits of real intentional design. VOO isn't broken, it's not a trap, but it is average at everything. Average growth, average income, average volatility. And here's the hard truth: average might not be enough to get you to freedom on your timeline, especially in today's market. The 2026 problem: one ETF can't do all the jobs. Let's zoom out and look at how the market behaves now, because it's not 2010 anymore. Tech and AI are driving a disproportionate share of gains. Names like Nvidia, Microsoft, and Meta aren't just winning, they're dragging entire indexes with them. Meanwhile, factor-based ETFs like momentum, quality, or low volatility are quietly outperforming in their specific zones, adapting to shifts that plain vanilla index funds simply ignore. At the same time, drawdowns feel bigger, more violent, and if your portfolio has grown to 6 or 7 figures, those losses sting harder. Taxes matter more. Your strategy needs to evolve with your stakes. That's where the old advice, just buy the S&P and forget it, starts to show its cracks. Because here's the new reality: you don't need a ticker, you need a team. Every great portfolio going forward will have roles, not just one ETF to rule them all. A role for compounding, a role for income, a role for defense. So the real question isn't, should I dump VOO? It's, what job is VOO actually doing for you, and what critical jobs are completely uncovered? Because if you're expecting VOO to handle your growth, your protection, and your income, it's like asking one player to win the whole game alone. That might have worked in the past, but in 2026, it's time to build a portfolio with purpose. ETF number 1, SPMO, the quiet momentum engine beating VOO. I still remember the exact moment I stumbled across SPMO. I was doing one of those routine performance check-ins, nothing major, just a coffee-fueled portfolio review. I compared my VOO returns with a few other ETFs I'd heard whispers about, and then I saw it. Over the past few years, SPMO had quietly crushed VOO. My stomach sank. Same contribution schedule, same time horizon, but if I had split just part of my allocation into SPMO, I would have been tens of thousands ahead. It felt like I'd been playing defense without even knowing it. Here's what makes SPMO different. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It pulls from the same S&P 500 universe as VOO, but instead of holding all 500 stocks, it selects the top 100 stocks based on momentum, the ones showing the strongest upward price trends, and rebalances every 6 months. That's it. No guessing, no speculation, just rules-based, performance-driven rotation. Let's talk numbers. Over the last 5 years, SPMO has delivered a CAGR of roughly 18.5%, while VOO came in closer to 14.6%. That's a significant delta over time. And during tough years like 2018 and 2022, SPMO held up better than you'd expect from a momentum ETF because it rotates out of losers instead of riding them down. Here's the emotional contrast that hit me hard. VOO owns everything, even the dead weight. You're carrying laggards by default. SPMO focuses only on what's working right now and moves on when momentum fades. If you're a growth-focused investor, someone who still has 10 to 20 years on your compounding clock, SPMO might not just be a complement to VOO, it might be the actual upgrade.
Now, let's shift from growth to something just as powerful: resilient compounding. DGRW, the Wisdom Tree U.S. Quality Dividend Growth ETF, takes a very different approach from VOO. Instead of blindly following market cap, DGRW selects companies with strong fundamentals, high return on equity, solid earnings growth, and a consistent history of increasing dividends. In short, it filters for quality. So what do the results look like? Over the past 5 years, DGRW's total return has been comparable to VOO, sometimes slightly behind, sometimes ahead, depending on the time frame. But the real story shows up during down years. In 2022, when VOO dropped about -18%, DGRW fell closer to -10%. And the dividend yield? DGRW typically pays around 2%, which is nearly double VOO's 1.1%, and it's paid more consistently. That matters, because let's be honest, most of us think we can hold through bear markets, but when your portfolio to growth but grounds it in quality and income, you get smoother drawdowns, a higher dividend, and a portfolio you can actually stick with when things get ugly. So while VOO gives you raw beta, the pure market ride, DGRW gives you a smarter, more resilient version of the same game. It's not for thrill seekers, it's for people who want to grow and sleep at night. ETF number 3, SPLV, when not losing big beats winning big. Everyone loves the idea of riding out market crashes. You hear it all the time. Just stay the course, the market always recovers. And while that's true on paper, real behavior doesn't happen on paper. Because here's what happens in reality. The market drops 30% and suddenly your stomach drops with it. You open your account, red everywhere. You start thinking, maybe I should just sell and wait it out. That's where SPLV comes in, the Invesco S&P 500 Low Volatility ETF. This ETF filters the 100 least volatile stocks in the S&P 500 based on actual historical price movement. It doesn't chase trends or earnings beats. It just picks the companies that move the slowest and drop the least, and rebalances every quarter to stay that way. Here's the pattern. SPLV often underperforms during fast bull markets because it's not loaded with flashy growth names. But during deep corrections or bear markets, it cushions the blow dramatically. In 2022, for example, VOO fell around -18%, SPLV only about -5.4%. That difference is massive,
especially if you're someone who knows they're prone to panic selling under pressure. So the emotional contrast is simple. Dream, I'll ride out every crash. Reality, most people panic at -30%, not because they're weak, but because they're human. SPLV is built for the investor who knows that about themselves and wants a volatility shield, not a roller coaster. It's not necessarily a replacement for VOO, but if your real enemy is panic, not underperformance, SPLV might be the missing piece that helps you stay invested when it matters most. Framework: core, momentum, shield. How these ETFs actually fit together. Now let's tie it all together. You've got 3 ETFs, each with a different job. So how do you build a system that works together? I call it the Core Momentum Shield Framework. Core, this is your anchor. It could be VOO if you prefer the simplicity of market cap indexing, or DGRW if you want a smarter core with quality filters and better dividends. Momentum engine, that's SPMO. It drives upside, adapts to market shifts, and focuses only on what's working now. Shield, that's SPLV. It's your cushion, your guardrail. It's what keeps you sane during the inevitable storm. Here's how that might look in a real-world allocation. Again, not advice, just examples. Example A, balanced growth plus defense. 40% DGRW, core, 35% SPMO, momentum, 25% SPLV, shield. Example B, conservative tilt upgraded from VOO only. 50% DGRW, core, 30% SPMO, momentum, 20% SPLV, shield. The myth we need to break is this. It's not about choosing VOO or abandoning it entirely. It's about designing a system that actually matches how you think, how you feel, and how you behave under pressure. Because in 2026 and beyond, your success won't come from guessing the best ETF. It'll come from building a system that's actually built for you. Myth-busting break. But VOO has worked for decades. Let's address the elephant in the room. Some of you might be thinking, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or, trying to beat VOO is just gambling in disguise. I get it, I used to think the same way. But here's the truth. You're not day trading, you're not stock picking, you're not chasing moonshots on Reddit threads. You're using rules-based ETFs backed by long-term data that are designed to fill very specific roles in a modern portfolio. This isn't about ego, it's about alignment. Because the real question isn't, can I beat VOO? The real question is VOO even doing the job I need it to do right now? If you need faster compounding to retire earlier, or smoother drawdowns to stay invested, or tax-efficient income you can use, VOO might be solid, but incomplete. So no, you're not abandoning discipline, you're applying it smarter. This is the shift, from blind faith in one ticker to informed control over your outcome. The real risk, not volatility, regret. Let me paint a picture. It's 2036. You've been steadily contributing for the last 10 to 15 years. You open up your portfolio and feel pretty good until you run a comparison. You realize that if you had just tilted a portion of your allocation towards SPMO, or added a buffer like SPLV, or swapped in a smarter core like DGRW, your net worth would be significantly higher. You might have even shaved years off your working life. That's not theory, that's math. And in that moment, the real pain isn't volatility, it's regret. Not because you made reckless decisions, but because you never questioned the safe one. See, the true risk isn't picking the wrong ETF from a list of good ones. It's never reassessing whether your go-to ETF is still enough. That's the freedom versus death trap we set up at the beginning of this video. You either build with intention or drift on autopilot hoping it all works out. And hope isn't a strategy. Let's bring this home with something practical and powerful. Step 1. Audit. Look at your current portfolio. How much of it is sitting in VOO or other S&P 500 index funds like SPY or IVV? Is it 50%, 80%, 100%? Just take note. No shame, just clarity. Step 2. Reassign. Now ask yourself, what do I actually care about most right now? If you want to speed up compounding without chasing risky bets, consider tilting towards SPMO. If you value quality and a smoother ride through volatility, explore a shift towards DGRW. And if your real enemy is emotional panic during crashes, it might be time to add SPLV as your volatility shield. Step 3. Redesign. Start sketching your own core momentum shield mix. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to reflect you, your age, your risk tolerance, your behavior in past bear markets. Because the right ETF isn't the one with the best ticker, it's the one you'll actually hold through the storm. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment right now. Which one are you missing? Is it core, momentum, or shield? Because at the end of the day, this isn't about chasing shiny tickers. It's about shaving years off your working life by using smarter tools with the same discipline you already have. Let's keep building.